if whatever it is that you see about like, yeah, it's cool to maybe hear my story, but if you're trying to learn more about real estate, like who cares about my story, right? It's if you have questions, if you have a specific market that you're trying to learn more about, ask specific questions, not Google questions, but specific questions that you want the answer to. Comment them down below, and the one with the most likes, maybe you guys can invite a host that partakes in that specific
I love it.
I like it.
market.
I love it.
What's going on, ladies and gents? Austin Lewis here, coming to you guys with another beautiful episode of the A&A Show. As you guys know, my partner in crime, Mr. Austin Zaback, sitting to the right of me here. We got a special guest here for today's episode. It is the man, the myth, the trading
legend.
king, 6'4", tall, skinny, and absolutely handsome.
And in a relationship right now.
And in a relationship. So ladies, don't get any weird ideas here.
Nothing like that.
But this is the trading king. I've never seen somebody in my entire life be more consistent at $1,000 a day every day for the last 4 years of his life.
1,800 uploads on YouTube, 800,000 subscribers.
Oh,
dude,
my Lord.
Killing it in the real estate game. Doing hard money loans now. I don't know if you're a hard money lender, a day trader, he owns a car, he's an investor in a car lot. Okay, guys, today's going to be a special episode.
It's going to be good.
We appreciate you.
Ricky
we
G.
appreciate you being on here, Ricky.
I think I came on the wrong day because I had a red day today.
A red day. I thought just barely that.
That's okay, though.
A little under $200,
Yeah.
but
So,
can't win them all.
No kidding.
1%. You cut your losses at 1%, right?
No, that was like 0.02.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
much
nothing.
less. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yesterday we had $991, so it was decent. But you guys and D-Guys, the ETNs that
Yeah.
we normally trade, got delisted.
That's what I heard.
So
I don't understand that whole world as much, obviously, as you do.
Yeah.
Not nearly, but that's what I saw in your story.
yeah, it was my bread and butter, but now getting removed, so now we're transitioning to something else. But
Yeah.
it just moves a little slower.
For
Yeah.
sure. I love it. I love it, man. Well, it's going to be a good episode. There's going to be a lot of value dropped here. What do you think, Lewis?
Yeah. No, dude,
You wanted to say something.
we're trying to dial this whole thing. You know, it's an episode, or the A&A show is supposed to be entertaining as well as very valuable, because obviously we bring on gangster entrepreneurs like you that make more money in a day than I made my entire life.
Exactly.
So it's been cool, but you know, Austin and I, we kind of get some good feedback to people. They say, hey, you guys kind of chime in with each other, and that is the point. But without being, you know,
We're trying to figure out if we're going to be Logan Paul or Joe Rogan.
We're
You know
trying
what I
to
mean?
figure it out.
Somewhere right in between, probably.
Either way, we're going to cut a $250 million deal. We're going to have a scotch.
Yeah.
Somebody reach out to us and sponsor us for scotch.
I think we just start our own scotch company. You got
Start our own
you
scotch
got
company.
we got a
Proper 12.
Proper 12.
Yeah.
And
Conor McGregor.
Dwayne Johnson now just created tequila.
Yeah,
tequila. He's got a
Tequila.
tequila.
Now there's like A's, so you guys should call it like A&A.
Yeah.
A&A.
I think it could be done.
A&A
I think
alcohol.
it could be done.
Hey, I ain't
So let's
opposed.
jump into Ricky's story a little bit. I know Austin normally likes to go, you know, basically we like to look at what, you know, things look like today, and then we just kind of like peel it back a little bit to provide value to the listeners, to the viewers, obviously, you know, the entrepreneurs that want to achieve success, right? That want to, you know, have fulfillment in their life and live a good life. So obviously we introed, you know, Ricky, but for those of you guys that don't know Ricky, you know, Ricky, just kind of explain, you know, I guess a little bit about what like your day-to-day looks like now.
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of peel that back a little bit on how you actually got there.
Let's do it. So my mornings start normally, right, without pre-market trading. Market opens here in Arizona as of right now at 6:30 a.m. So I'll wake up at 6, go live. I trade live with our Learn Plan Profit Group from 6:30 to about 7 o'clock to 7:30. After that, I'll continue to trade for myself for about another hour. Right around 9:30, that's when I'm making a transition from going to the gym, getting some food and stuff like that. Come back, our team arrives at around 9:30. So that's, you know, the different team members that we have that make up Tech Buds, and we work with them for about 2-3 hours, very little work on our daily YouTube videos, stuff like that. And then the remainder of the day, dude, right now, like a lot of our stuff is now on autopilot because we have just such a great team. So this is why you see me being a little bit more involved in like real estate, or being a little bit more involved in wanting to invest in like the car dealership, because once you have a good working system and an amazing team, it's you can kind of like hand off responsibilities and they just get done so much better than when you originally were doing them, that now you can then start kind of like different ventures. So huge shout out to Weston and to Caleb. They started, they're one of the youngest people in Arizona to fully own and operate a car dealership.
So cool.
It's unbelievable.
I'm just the investor in that, right? So I back them up with the money and they've been absolutely killing it. So this month alone, I was talking to Austin Zaback about it. So this month alone, 24 days into the month, they've sold 33 cars. But during the quarantine, which we started this dealership about 2 months before everything went into lockdown.
Epidemic,
Yeah. So during the pandemic, they sold 4 cars. So
Wow.
it just like shows now they're at 109 cars. They've been open for about 6 months and they're just absolutely killing it.
That's sweet.
They're on autopilot now. And then now we're starting our own little kind of like, not real estate team, but Nick, who is our good friend. So Nick Palladino, he's now going to be hopefully working with us a little bit closer. He got his real estate license here in Arizona, and I'm investing into a fund where he's going to be utilizing about $500,000 to about $1 million and just flipping houses. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to be the investor. He's going to be pretty much the project manager, and that's going to be our partnership. So I'm very excited. We have a couple little things that we're now starting to get going, like apparel and stuff like that. That's been picking up just because, again, we have an amazing guy, Jacob, that's creative, been taking initiative, and now that's on track to do 6 figures a year. So it's so cool. It's cool to have an idea, work with it with your team, and then just have them scale. We've done well with YouTube. Obviously, I've done well with trading, and now it's just building our team and trying to empower them to do the best they can in whatever areas or markets they see value in. And I'm just here to kind of see it grow.
I love
like it.
I love it. Real
That's
quick,
cool.
you're 25, right, Ricky?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for those of you guys listening, for those of you guys watching, the 2 things that I really get every time I've known Ricky, what has it been? 4 years maybe? We probably
22, 23 is
Yeah.
when I met you.
Okay, so I've known Ricky for a while. I bought one of his cars a long time ago. We kind of hung out, here and there a couple times a year. Obviously, we're both very busy, but what always has stood out to me about Ricky and what I love to this very day, Austin, I could speak on Austin's behalf as well. You take a 25-year-old with 800,000 subscribers on YouTube, 200 and some odd thousand members in a Facebook group, right? This massive community, and the consistency of which he's been for, probably longer than I, can even imagine, and the humility and the consistency combined, right? Like you take a guy, and I've noticed this since the day I met you, Ricky, so I mean this as a genuine compliment, but you get him to sit in a room and he's just humble, and what he's been able to create, a lot of people don't create in a lifetime, let alone in 25 years. So we're blessed, obviously, to be in your presence, Ricky, to be here. We like to have fun. We like to keep it entertaining, but at the same time, what you've done is really incredible. And I think a lot of people can learn from what you've done. So, backing up a little bit, my first question really, I think maybe for people watching and listening, like, day trading really seems to be that foundation for you of how you accomplished pretty much everything, right? It started with the consistency of day trading. I would imagine this is just me kind of, speculating here. And then through that consistency led to the YouTube, and it led to kind of all of these other different things, right? But you like mastered the one thing of like day trading.
And that's
so how long have you been day trading? Sorry to interrupt you.
No, sorry. It's I've been day trading full time since I was like 18 to 20 was when I really began to take it much seriously. I began to share what worked for me and what didn't right around 2021 if I'm not mistaken. And my biggest thing is I do attribute majority of my success to that start on YouTube. Like my biggest platform, my biggest following is I have 825,000 subscribers on YouTube. But the thing is I've always shared, like that I'm not the best day trader, right? I've never preached to be someone that knows it all. I've always just been someone that likes to encourage and empower people to pursue whatever markets they see value in. I share what works for me. I share what doesn't. I do daily recaps. I trade live every single day. If that's a value for you, great. And if not, the reason our Facebook group is so big and our YouTube channel is so big in comparison to every other platform is because I don't care if we're just talking about crypto, we're talking about Qbanks and Forex. I don't care what market you see value in. My goal, if you're part of our groups, is simply to empower you to pursue whatever market you see the most value in, because I know there is not one road to success. There's many different ways to still get that same end result. So because of that, I've been able to meet, of course, really inspiring and amazing people throughout this journey. But I do have to say, trading alone, because of sharing my experience, is what got me my start. And from that start, as I began to see my following grow and just the groups grow and stuff like that, as an entrepreneur, I began to do my part in building teams in areas that I wanted to be successful in. So when we saw an opportunity for apparel, I was like, we can easily create a 6-figure apparel line, right?
Yeah.
We focused on quality. We got the right people. And it's not that they, again, were the best. Like, I'm not the best at trading, but it's people that are problem solvers. That's my biggest takeaway. As long as you are someone that when you encounter a problem, that you don't give up until you figure out a solution, it's every single day. You don't have to go from 1 to 100 overnight, but it's the overall idea of being consistent every single day. So just like we were saying, when it comes down to my daily uploads, my public uploads are 1,800 videos. I've gone live every single day since I started Learn Plan Profit for the Learn Plan Profit live trading, and that is every single day, right? Obviously, I miss some if I'm sick or something like that. But when it comes down to, I've probably missed 20 to 30 live trading sessions. No, I want to say like 30, right? In the past 3 years. And with that understanding, it's just like, again, I understand that I don't have to be the best. You don't have to be the best at everything it is that you do. As long as you are someone that is I just have a huge passion for what I do, trading, right? So as long as I'm consistent with it and I make simple, small progress every single day, my job on YouTube, my job for Learn Plan Profit, my job for any of the companies that we have is to show up every single day. And that is what I think attributes a lot of our success to. It's not that I'm the best at anything, nothing at all. Yep. Real estate is something that I've been a little bit more proactive with. In the past week and a half, including today's Wednesday, past week, I've done 5 hard money loans. And last year I did 10. So now in a week and a half, I did what I did, half of what I did last year. And it's all about progress, right? We have goals, we have something to work towards. Again, it's just, I think people tend to overcomplicate it when they want to be successful in any market. It's never going to be easy. Every creative market, every just outlet out there, right? Every venture comes at some form of risk. I would have to say that the reason I was able to overcome a lot of these obstacles was because I was so passionate that the monetary reward was just something that just came after. I didn't start uploading videos because I wanted to make money or to become a YouTube star. I didn't, start doing any of this because I thought that one day I would be where it is that I am today. It is surprising to me. It is surreal to look back and see what happened, but it is my job in my eyes for my future family to do my part in showing up every single day to build a foundation in which I hope my future family can build off of. So that's the goal and that's the motivation.
I like it.
I love
that's
it.
Dope, dude.
That's an answer
yeah,
right
that's
there.
cool. That's cool.
You got to go back and watch that again.
That's right.
Couple different times.
So I got a question real quick, Ricky. Just, all of this stuff going on, right? You're in real estate. You got your apparel, which is gangster. You got your actual YouTube. You got Instagram. You got your course, LPP, right? Learn, Plan, Profit. You have all of these different things, and you go back to you're able to take on more and do more and have more based on the team that it is that you have on your back, right? You're an investor in a car lot, this, that, and the third, right? Which happen to be your other partners. And so I want to break down what that team ultimately looks like, right? Like how, because Austin and I, we've struggled over the last 4 years, you know what I mean? Building a solid actual team, right? Yeah. And we've learned some good lessons, some great things that we've been able to walk away from, but we've seen, when Austin and I met you, it was, you've had the same team members since that day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? From what we can see, right? And now obviously you've added more people and maybe some people have left, but what's that team made of, dude? Like, where did that come from? What is it?
I like working with problem solvers. Everyone that's been part of our team has been someone that's been part of TechBuds Solutions, which is our free community. I met Justin, who's my actual equity partner for TechBuds and the umbrella that oversees everything. He's my only direct partner for that. I met Weston and Caleb through TechBuds Solutions. I met Nick, who's helping us with the real estate through TechBuds Solutions on Learn Plan Profit. And then we got Michael and Ish that are my cousins, right? And everyone else that makes up our team has either met me through TechBuds Solutions or my social media following. My biggest thing is, in the very beginning, I was trying to work with people, with other YouTubers or get them started on YouTube. And it was just very difficult on the online. I just didn't have the best experience in that. But I think one of the main reasons that we began to do so well is as true entrepreneurs and as true investors and just creators and stuff like that, people want to be valued.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that I was blessed to be put in a position where at a very young age, I was, I think it was at 22 when I surpassed a little bit over $1 million, and I was still living a pretty like frugal life. And the idea of like the cars that I owned, I was buying and reselling, and I owned property and all that stuff. But what I ate, what I dressed, and what I spent my money on was very minimal in correlation to Chipotle.
Yeah.
It's just I didn't. You spend your money where you see value, and if you see value in something, like all power to you. You make your money, you do your thing. But what I began to then realize is like I really began to see that the businesses and the partnerships that I had that did well were when other partners felt valued and directly compensated. Because when you're a true entrepreneur or a true investor, if there's a cap that you are, limited to, there's only a matter of time for you to want to pivot or do your own thing. Right? It just happens. It's just an instinct, and rightfully so. It's just we've had so many encounters with that I was just like, again, the only way that we're going to make progress is if we learn from our mistakes. So I began to then focus on building a team. I remember back in high school, I was in AP. What was it, like Gov or something? I don't know what it was. It was a government class, and this professor that I really didn't like. It was very rude, but I remember him stating that like one of the main reasons that Richard Branson is so successful, billionaire, right, is because he was an amazing team builder. He had over like 100 companies, and all those 100 companies, he said, my main focus is I'm a good team builder. What I then began to focus on is I wanted to bring people onto our team that were problem solvers, that were better at doing their job than I was, and that they are directly compensated based off of the value that they bring. Because with that understanding that if I can offer you a base pay plus no cap on, your compensation when it comes down to the creativity aspect, then that's where I think creativity really begins to spark, right? Yeah. That is where you're going to want to work more than just the 5 days a week, because your direct input of time and effort correlates to the direct output of pay and compensation. Yeah. And I think that was, a big transition for myself, where I began to see our team members feel valued. And I really began to also make a transition for myself, is I didn't want it to be an I thing. I didn't want it to be a me. I wanted it to be a we. I can honestly say I would not be where it is that I am today if it was not for our team. And rightfully so, right? So if you bring value to our team, I want to compensate you, and I want you to feel valued. As well as if you give me the short end of the stick, then just know that I'll return the same thing, right? It is still a business, right? Yeah. And this is where I think a lot of people, might encounter feeling undervalued and stuff like that. And trust me, I still have so much to learn. We still make so many mistakes. All I know is that the best partnerships that I've had are complementing partnerships where both bring different values to the table, and you are directly compensated based off of those specific values. An example can be Nick. He's going to be putting all the work. He's the real estate agent. He's going to be managing all these flips. I put up all the capital, 50-50 split. Yeah. He doesn't have to worry about the capital. He doesn't have to worry about the loans. We have the money. He just has to worry about making sure that the job gets done. Yeah. And we'll scale from there. We'll obviously have our ups and we'll have our downs, just like any other market and stuff like that. But it's been a great learning experience. And I just realized, we have had our team for quite a while. I didn't.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. Same team. I really like that a lot. No, I mean, I think it's really impressive when you look at it, right? Same team for many, many years. And I just can't get over like the consistency. Yeah. And how, when you look at it, anybody listening, anybody watching, you have to understand, like Ricky said it so many different times, but like really he's just been consistent. Like he's beaten his competition through consistency and like humility. Like those two words just keep coming back to me, like consistency and humility, because humility covers everything in terms of like, the we factor, right? Instead of the I factor. And that covers like a multitude of different things. And then the consistency, like just showing up every single day. And then ultimately, and there's something you say often, is just like, green days more than you have red days. And with consistency, you're going to make money. You're going to be successful, right? It's not about, never having a red day or never losing money on a house or a property or a renovation going, bad, or maybe, buying a car where the transmission goes out. and losing money on it, but it's just about doing,
which we did.
It's just about making, the consistent effort to have the green days and the victories more than the losses. Right. And I love that, because that is actually success in general. And something you say all the time is like, don't overcomplicate it, right? Like, keep it simple.
It's having the vision and knowing that like nothing in life worth having should ever come easy. I think that's something that we can take away both in relationships and in business. And yeah, it's going to be a struggle, but it's the challenges that I think in life that when accomplished bring the most fulfillment.
Right.
Yeah,
I couldn't agree more.
I like the fact that, and we've heard this from a lot of big, influencers in the world today that are absolutely crushing the game. Anybody can do it for a year, but how many people can do it for 2 years,
3 years,
3 years, 4 years,
Yeah.
5 years? And Austin and I were actually just talking about this a couple, I don't know, this had to be like 6 months ago. And it was, day trading, there's a million of them.
Day traders,
There's a million day traders.
Yep.
What differentiates Ricky Gutierrez from those other individuals? And it happens to be the consistency. It happens to be the resilience. It happens to be, like you're saying, just showing up every single day, day in and day out, and just playing your part. Definitely. And I love that, dude.
And the relatability of it, right? Like,
100%.
One thing with a lot of the other, and you see this in every industry, but you have the moguls or the influencers or whoever that, they're good people, right? But there's just a little bit more ego. There's a little bit more, just like me factor, and it isn't relatable always, right? And you look at people that are more relatable and more humble, again, right? That mixed with that consistency, you end up winning in the long term, right? Like these other people might win in the short term, but in the long term, you end up with a way bigger community, right? And ultimately, like, because we talked about that. I'm like, why? And I'm like, you take an industry where there's people that, there's a lot of people selling a course on how to day trade, right?
Yeah.
And Ricky's so successful, and I really think it is those two qualities, like those two characteristics primarily.
100%.
I think it's the overall idea, and this obviously there's no perfect working system for everyone, right? So that everyone's wired in different ways, but with the overall idea of like, you want to work with someone that empowers you, that makes you feel good. And what I've learned is, I could be really, you can see my Instagram and I post my cars, I post all these different things, right? But I never put it in a way to, like jab anyone. And my biggest thing is I've just always wanted to be someone's spark, because I know that the reason I do what it is that I do was because of the initial spark of wanting to one day afford a GTR.
Yeah.
It started with the Fast and the Furious movies. And because watching that, although it's a materialistic thing, that's what sparked my interest.
For sure.
So for those watching, if your goal is, if it's more on the, moral side of like, oh, I want to provide for my family, I want to provide for my parents, I think that's amazing. But if you also want to work hard to buy clothes or to buy a GTR or to buy whatever it is, buy trips because you love to travel, your motivation is something that you should never be ashamed on.
Yeah.
And if it's something that sparks your interest and it's what got you started, just know that, at least in my experience, once I achieved that GTR, it was kind of like, I think I was 21 when I bought it. I was like, it's actually not as great as I thought, but I was so in love with the hustle of working every single day that I genuinely feel like, just the way that I'm wired, so we talk about being consistent, I genuinely feel every single day, if there's not some form of work that is done, I am falling behind. And that is the only way. I think that's just my drive, and it's not that I'm like better or anything like that. That's just the way and the person and the human that I am. That is who I am. That is, I think, what I attribute, again, a lot of my success to. But at the end of the day, just like, you shouldn't like determine your motivation or your goals or something based off of what other people will assume. It's great to have, a social media following. It's great to have people to agree with you. But at the end of the day, like, what really matters? Why are you working so hard? My goal from the very beginning is I want our team and the people around me to do well so they can provide for themselves and for their future families. I think with that idea in mind, and for me to be able to do the same, it's a win-win for everyone, right?
Yeah.
You want to be a person that you wish, like when I first got started, someone that I could have like, seen value in.
Yeah.
And that is the only, like, when it comes down to my videos, when it comes down to my profits, when it comes down to everything that I do, I just want my passion and my excitement and my energy to be expressed through my videos. And that relatability can be viewed, can be a way that people can interpret it. But there's just so much negative stuff going on in the world, that I just want to do my part in being someone's spark.
Yeah.
Because I know if I could be someone's spark, if you find success in crypto, if you find success in real estate, if you find success in something that has nothing to do with how you initially got motivated, but it was because of my videos, I just feel like I'm doing my part.
For sure.
I love it.
That's sweet,
I got a question for you. You know, it takes, do you have a little bit of time?
Of course.
Okay, cool. It takes a very level-headed, like another thing that stands out to me is like level-headedness, and especially in day trading, but also in your life in general. From as long as I've known you, I've definitely seen days where, you're in the red. I've seen days where, things didn't go well. Maybe the tow truck, messes up one of the cars or whatever it is. And it happens to everybody, right? But, and then even in the stock market, obviously. And I think, that's kind of a big component to success in general is like, keeping your emotions like level, regardless of what is going on around you, and understanding that, life is happening for you and not to you. And I think you do a really good job of that. And like, have you always kind of been that way, I guess is my question, or is it something that you really had to develop and kind of, perfect a little bit?
Of course, over time, you become a little bit more conditioned, right? When you begin to do things over day, like, could I say that when I first got started, when I had a red day, I enjoyed it? No, I come from a 9-to-5 background. So when I invested a certain amount of hours, I expected a direct output of pay, but that's not how the stock market works. That's not how life works in general. Every form of market, career, profession comes at some form of risk, especially these creative markets, right? These markets where you invest money or trade money to get hopefully a return. You need to understand that you do not deserve anything. I don't care who you are, you do not deserve anything. Everything is earned in this life. And when there's a transaction happening, it is your part to determine the risk. So there's nothing wrong with taking a loss, but it is your job to understand that form of risk management. And if you can't make that understanding, if you blame your loss or your dollar amount that you lost based off of, if it's in real estate, if it's in trading, and if it's in starting a business, there's uncontrollable factors, and there will always be red days. And it's very unfortunate when they are uncontrollable, like the pandemic, right? But when it comes down to like trading, and the idea that the scapegoat that I normally use is like, well, I had no idea that it was going to drop. It's like every single time that if we're going to like interpret this for like all aspects of life, every single time that you're about to take a trade or take advantage of an opportunity, I don't want you to just think about how much money you could make in the return and what that's going to look like. But I also want you to think about how much money you could lose and to visualize that, and then ask yourself, is this opportunity worth it? Because if the upside outweighs the downside, it's only a matter of time, over time, right, consistently, that you're going to continue to win. Mm-hmm. But if you see that, hey, the upside is 10%, the downside is 5%, or the downside is 7%, actually looking at it, I'm not okay with losing $70 to make $100. So then you can at least save yourself from that. But again, people, because markets are so accessible, they're so closed-minded in the overall idea that all I'm going to do is make money. No, if it was that easy, everyone would be successful. Yeah. The hardest part in being successful is not making money, but it's controlling how much money you lose. And that's in all areas of life. When my Lamborghini got hit by the tow truck or got dropped, it sucked, but I know I'm covered. I did my part in managing my risk. And I understand the blessed position that I'm in. And I'm not going to, I didn't want to sue the tow company. I didn't want to take advantage of everyone because I felt like I got the short end of the stick. I just wanted to, just be met up with I just wanted to be set good, right? Yeah. With a good car and all that stuff. And, stuff happens to everyone. There's no perfect concept or approach in life for everyone. If you really want, in my opinion, if you really want to be successful in any market, it's you need to understand what you're doing. You need to be a problem solver, because when you encounter obstacles, which of course is going to happen, people pay for solutions. When I upload videos on YouTube, those are solutions. When I upload a picture, that could be a solution for entertainment aspects. When I offer a service, that's a solution. In all aspects of life, the most successful people are the ones that offer forms of solutions to the masses, right? When you think about the biggest thing is it's if you're a problem solver, as long as you're consistent with it, right? It's only a matter of time for you to, it doesn't mean that you're going to be uber successful, but it just depends on how, rewarding your market is in the monetary aspect.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's cool, dude.
That's really cool.
I like that. Let's dive into some personal stuff. Yeah. I like this, right? So ladies, he's not single. So unfortunately for you, he is happily taken. Mm-hmm. What, Ricky, I see, of course, for those of you that follow him on Instagram, obviously Austin and I follow him on Instagram too. I mean, we keep up to you kind of like I keep up to the toilet seat. Yeah. So I know what's going on with Ricky's life daily, right?
Yeah.
And you seem to have a lot of fun, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like you mix the business and the seriousness and entrepreneurship along with fun and enjoying yourself, and you can just genuinely tell that when you, I mean, if you guys aren't in the room, but you guys can just genuinely tell that Ricky G is happy. Like he is fulfilled. You have joy with you. You know what I'm saying? And there's, you can't say the same for a lot of other people.
Yep.
And a lot of other entrepreneurs, you know, there's it's a high stress environment. You're dealing with this. I could just think of the stock market, and I just think of you trading, and I just think of what's his name?
In the Wolf of Wall Street. in the movie.
So what, like,
It's funny.
talk about that, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs, if you're all right with that, a lot of entrepreneurs, they just want to see you working 24/7, and or that's what they portray, right? They're like, yo, I no, I don't go hang out with my friends, or no, I don't go, you know, on 2-week vacations, and no, I don't, you know, go mess around for 6 hours of the day, because I don't want you to see that, because I need to be this perfect image for you that you see on Instagram.
Yeah. So on Instagram, obviously, we try to portray like a very clean cut version of ourselves, but anything, and then like it doesn't matter if
Unless
you're
you're
the
on his
best.
close friends.
Yeah. But even thinking about, like, if you were to think for the general public, what would be like the ideal job, right? A lot of people, when you first, you know, start growing up, it's like acting, right? Those are the people that you see all the time. Just think about like Brad Pitt. You think about him to be an amazing actor, good-looking dude, successful, wealthy, you know, A1 or what is it, Class A celebrity.
Yeah.
He has up and downs, right? The idea of being fulfilled all the time is just never going to happen. So just like throw that out the window. The reason I enjoy what I do every single day is just, I just genuinely enjoy it. It's there's nothing else to it. I enjoy the people I surround myself with. I enjoy what it is that I do. I enjoy the challenges. I enjoy being challenged. I've always been someone that, like, I like to learn new things, and it's just, dude, it's just fun. It's just fun when you're being challenged. And yeah, we all have shitty days. We have, we have all have down days when it comes down to the different members within our team. And I try to have, and just in more in the back, and like, I try to find a good balance with, I want to reward and reward the guys when they do well, right? So when we have goals, we have quotas, and we hit it, like, we'll go out, bubble service, stuff like that. But if I ever feel like I'm getting the short end of the stick, being taken advantage of, if I get a boat and then, or if we have a little party and they end up not picking up, or it just becomes expected and not appreciated, I will snap on them like there's no tomorrow. I will call them all out, make sure that they're at the house, picking up everything. I want to make sure that there's a balance. When it comes down to, if you want to work hard and play hard, you need to earn it. Like I said, nothing's deserved. And I think that idea of, again, people feeling valued and compensated, it's just, we've found a very good rhythm. This is not something, I mean, we're in a specific age group, and we work with certain people that are within our age group that we just all kind of like the same thing. Yeah. And dude, it's just fun. Like, they're just good people. Just imagine, for those all listening and watching this, just imagine getting, if you could think of, dude, I did not have many best friends like growing up, so this might be a little difficult, but just imagine the people that you work the best with, your best friends, all that stuff. Just imagine you guys start a company. There's like 5 or 8 of you, and you guys just work together 5 days out of the week. But on top of that, on the weekends, you guys still hang out nonstop, and you enjoy every second of it. Yeah. They all live in one of my properties, right? So when we all go out, like this weekend, because coronavirus is kind of bad, we're not going to be going out, but we're going to be going to, we're going to have a lake day. We want to work hard, but again, it's the expectation of like, hey, this is going to be the reward this weekend. Let's hit our goals. You know, everyone's just doing so well in their areas, and there's something to work towards. They're going to feel compensated. They're going to feel valued, and they're looking forward to something. So the overall energy and environment is positive. And that's the thing. It's hard to always balance it out. Again, we still have so much to learn. But I think it goes back to that idea of what started at Facebook and Google, and it's just this fun energy. So the creativity and innovation is expressed through people's work. And again, when it comes down to sharing stuff on our social platforms, there's so much negative stuff on social media. And regardless if I'm having a negative day, I don't care to rant. I don't care to call anyone out. I'm just like, dude, no one cares. No one really cares about your opinion. Like opinions are like the lowest form of like anything. It's like, I just want to do my part with a nice following to inspire and motivate people. And If you like it, great. If you don't, the beautiful thing about that is that you don't have to follow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just cool. Surround yourself with people that empower you and stay consistent. Work hard every day and enjoy what it is that you do. If you don't enjoy your job, then find a job that you do enjoy. I've always been a big believer in school and 9 to 5. If you enjoy like what it is that you do and it's something that you see so much passion or you have so much of a passion for, and maybe it's not rewarding the most monetary aspect, who cares? Like if you like, oh, it's just so mind blowing. Like just do what it is that you love every single day, because every single job, every single profession, we've seen it. We've seen billionaires, we've seen millionaires, we've seen famous people lose their lives to, because they feel unfulfilled.
Yeah.
So just surround yourself with good people and just be good, do good.
I love it.
Oh,
there's a lot of gratitude.
I like that. Yeah,
you know what I
for
mean?
sure,
You
dude.
can always, every time you hang out with Ricky, you feel the gratitude. I love it, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
I learn, dude. I'm always learning, man. I'm an open, I've always tried to be that guy that's like just learning from everybody. Like you can learn as much from a homeless person as you can a billionaire, right?
For sure.
And so, one of the reasons we started this show was I looked at Austin. Austin looked at me. I said, look, we start a podcast. It gives us an excuse to interview really cool people.
Yeah.
And it just so happens we get to share that with the world. I said, but the real people learning are him and I.
Yeah.
Yep.
And and at the end of the day, then all the viewers, all the listeners get to, hopefully learn and take away like little golden nuggets where, maybe, they can relate to something or whatever and ultimately, make their life better and live a better life. So that's always pretty much been our goal.
Yeah.
Did you have anything that you kind of wanted to dive into or what are you kind of thinking?
Well, based on today's episode, Ricky, which we certainly appreciate you rolling through here, we definitely, I think, have to do part 2.
We for sure have to do a part 2 a couple months from now. We got to have
a couple months
back
from now.
back out in
Back at
in
the A&A
Dale.
show. Okay.
Right.
Hanging out with the Riot Boys.
Yep, that's
You know
exactly
what I
right.
mean?
Yep.
Yeah, hanging out with the Riot Boys. And maybe the Whiskey Boys can come through too. And maybe we can all hit like a midday lunch and then, post on our Instagram stories to our close friends what happens after that.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So I like that. So
we got to wait for the Rona cases to go down just a little bit here.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
What do we hit, like 3,000 yesterday or something?
But
Something insane, I think.
Florida's ahead of us still, and LA.
And
They're not doing good either.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and they're opening back up.
And they're wide
crazy.
open.
If we're going to do anything, let's do it consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
We're one baby.
Yeah. I love it, man.
I love it, dude. I mean, do you want to wrap this thing up? And then we
pretty
can
much.
Do part 2?
Yeah.
What's up?
We could
Go
do
ahead.
that. No, I was going to say my last and final question. I feel like people always want to know this. Are you a big reader? Do you read any good books at all? You're not a big reader.
People always ask me, and again, just because I don't do it doesn't mean that you shouldn't. If that's a good outlet for you to learn more about, all power to you. My thing were just videos. Everything I learned from trading, everything that I learned from real estate, anything business has always just been videos.
I love it.
That's
a great answer.
Yeah, but I do agree that there are a lot of great books.
Yeah.
And stuff.
For sure.
Don't read.
Yeah, you're good.
Self-awareness, bro. Self-awareness. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I just got a brand new book, and I'm looking at it. It's got 400 pages, and I hate reading, dude.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm slower than a freaking tortoise trying to go across the road, so I struggle. So self-awareness. I do have a question for you, real quickly, though, just based on everything. Why are you such a stud, dude?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm just trying to keep up with you guys.
That's right. No, I like it.
Humility.
What's that one thing you want to leave these viewers, these listeners that are on YouTube that are smashing the subscribe button, smashing the like button, or
iTunes,
podcast,
Stitcher,
iTunes, leaving us a 5-star review,
we're
sharing it with their friends. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. We don't charge for this. So you guys are watching this for free. We actually are putting in our hard-earned time. Again, we got to stroke Ricky a check to leave here today. And it's not the cheapest thing. He is like Louis Vuitton and Gucci. He don't go there, but he does. He is like that. No, I'm just messing with you guys. But we put in our hard-earned time and energy. So the least you guys could do is at least give us some love. Share it with some of your friends that need to see this, and need to see that Ricky G is an absolute stud, and enjoy and learn, plan, profit. Right?
I want to say one thing.
I like it.
I think as you guys are growing this, right? I think one of the main ways I was able to grow my channel, right, is because I asked for feedback on what content our viewers want to see. So if whatever it is that you see about, like, yeah, it's cool to maybe hear my story, but if you're trying to learn more about real estate, like, who cares about my story, right? If you have questions, if you have a specific market that you're trying to learn more about, ask specific questions, not Google questions, but specific questions that you want the answer to. Comment them down below, and the one with the most likes, maybe you guys can invite a host that partakes
Yep.
in that specific
I love it.
I like it.
market.
I love
it,
it.
dude.
So do that for us, guys.
Yes.
Do it for Ricky.
Yes.
Comment down below. Let us know what it is that you have questions on, and we will bring guests in to literally fulfill those questions. That's been our goal since day one. So for, particular questions as it pertains to Ricky also, drop into the comment section, and we will keep on. We'll hold on to those until we bring Ricky back for round 2.
What's that one thing you want to leave these viewers, brother? What that one thing, that one tip, that one trick that has you where you're currently at today and going?
If you're going to do anything, do it consistently, and you better consistently subscribe and smash that like button. So make sure you drop some love for the A&A show.
Beautiful.
I appreciate it. All right, guys.
Incredible show. Ricky, thank you so much for coming on, man. In due time.
We'll put all Ricky's information in the description and everything down below. So definitely go check him out. Go shoot him a follow. Ricky's the freaking man, the myth. He's just a stud.
Absolutely.
So, guys, appreciate you for tuning in. See you in the next one.
Deuces.